Welcome to the Vibrant Flow podcast. This is where we reclaim our feminine essence and our right to luscious, soft, vibrant living the feminine way. If you are ready to release the old paradigms of hustle, perfectionism, being nothing but hard on yourself, and the good girl syndrome, and just step into your feminine power, deeper faith, queenly living, and the vibrant flow, you are in the right place. I am here to support you and to hold you accountable in your sweet feminine homecoming. Okay, sister, let's jump right in. My gorgeous friend, welcome back to the podcast. I've been taking a few days off. Just felt a bit overwhelmed, and honestly, there are so many incredible things that I want to birth into being for you, to help you step into your most empowered, softened, connected, and feminine self. And this summer, because I have to be honest with you, summer seasons have for some reason always brought me a lot of anxiety. Like, you know how much I love romanticizing every single season in the year, as well as in our menstrual cycle. I still feel a bit more at home during autumn and winter, which has been one of the realizations of growing up and coming to my own. But I want to enjoy this summer season, this spring and summer, to the fullest. And I'm currently going through a transition phase now that I am wrapping up my master's studies and graduating and stepping into full-time entrepreneurship, as well as, being a full-time wife, a homemaker to the capacity that I can be, and a creator, going back to singing and releasing music, hopefully this year. And there's something weird about the summer, that every time something comes to a close, let's say now that it's like the studies are coming to a close and a lot of doors are open in terms of like how I'm using my time. And I love that freedom. That's my choice, my conscious choice, that I want to be self-employed as much as I want to, and me and my husband deem necessary, and how much I'm called to do it, right? That's a choice. I love it. I want that freedom. But that anxiety has been something that's been happening every time during May and June, when we're stepping into the summer. And I've noticed that, okay, it is because things are coming to a close, things are ending, or suddenly there's a lot more time on my hands, or there's question marks, questions about what to do next or where to go next, and how to use my time. And I've noticed that my own expectations that I've been piling up on myself are partly to blame, and I don't want to create that kind of unnecessary suffering. I don't know if this resonates with you, but sometimes we just create a lot of unnecessary suffering by piling a lot of expectations on ourselves that are based on illusions, based on these weird ideas that are hovering inside our heads, and especially those that are actually fear-driven. So I had to really notice that and be like, okay, this anxiety that I get every time we're coming closer to the summer season is fear-driven. It's ego-driven. It's not coming from my heart or my spirit. It is something that I've picked up, an illusion, an idea, an expectation on how things should be going, or that I should be busier And we are not here to create a busy life just for the sake of being busy, even though our culture, our society glorifies being busy and busyness and all that hustle and just being busy for the sake of it, not because you are living in purpose, not because you're loving what you do, but because it's some sort of badge of honor to be busy. And I want to let that go. And I believe that you want to do that as well. And so my personal desire that I know is coming deep from my heart, deep from my inner knowing, is that I want this summer to be soft, really soft and pleasurable and fully living in purpose, savoring every moment, every small sign of abundance, experience, and just loving every moment of it, while still living in a way that I can be in the highest service to you and stepping into my highest potential and not keeping myself small anymore. But not from a place of push, from a place of, I need to make something happen, but from a place of softness in every area of my life, to feel the sweetness, sumptuousness of life, seeing all the glory and abundance of nature, of everything that God has created and given us. So I want to invite you to join me on the ride and to make a very conscious decision to soften into this summer so that we can receive and hold and create a life that we truly love, so that you can receive and magnetize with ease with your own natural magnetism, your feminine magnetism, everything that you desire, and to soften into thriving relationships, thriving work situations, thriving opportunities, and all of it, right? So what I've been sort of playing with is this idea of creating a 5-day challenge. And I'm going to call it the Softness Reset, because I want us to reset for the summer, or if you're on the other side of the planet, then of course then it would be like winter for you. But whenever you're listening to this, you can still soften into the most juicy and sumptuous season in your life. So the Softness Reset is a 5-day intentional softness challenge that I'm going to run over on my Patreon. And it's going to run from the 15th to the 19th of May. But all of the materials and the audio lessons that I'm going to create are always going to be available over on Patreon if you join. It's only €5 per month. So honestly, if you are resonating with this, if you love my podcast, it's high time you join. You're going to love this reset, this challenge. How it's going to work is that there's going to be a workbook helping you throughout the journey. Every day of the 5-day challenge will have a different focus, different area of your life and your being that we are intentionally softening. The workbook is something that you can download and print out if you are able to. And then I will have 5 different audio lessons or activations No, activations is what I call my sort of meditations. So let's keep that separate. So I'll call them my audio lessons. They're like episodes around 30 minutes, and each of them are focused on one area of softening. And I will drop them on those days that we're focusing on. For example, on the 15th of May, we're going to start with day 1. And day 1 is going to be about soft self-perception. So why are we starting with soft self-perception? It's because I'm sure you've heard me talk about this many times, your internal story about yourself and your life, your self-perception and your self-image play a huge role in how your life feels like, how your life plays out. So it is absolutely the core, the most important thing that we need to talk about before we talk about anything else. So we're going into your subconscious story, the labels you have of yourself that will trump over any attempts at changing your life. So we need to go to the root of all of it, right? Especially if you have identified yourself as someone who has been very hard on yourself, right? Or being a perfectionist, or being tough on yourself, having high expectations on yourself, and always feeling disappointed with yourself. If you've dealt with any kind of chronic issues in your body, that really plays into all of this, right? Or if you just always feel like you need to be the good girl, you always need to make the right choices, and you're extremely afraid of making mistakes. It makes you really anxious, and you just know somewhere deep down that there's more freedom available to you without being out of alignment of God's will and of all of the values that you have, right? So day 1, we're going to dive into soft self-perception, right? And then day 2, we're going to talk about soft surroundings. And this has to do not only with your, physical surroundings, but with everything you consume, and seeing your body as a container for the flow and the juiciness that you want to experience in your life, and especially this summer. So we are intentionally creating a soft, comforting environment for yourself, softening and relaxing your nervous system out of chaos. And there's a lot that we're going to talk about on day 2, but I won't reveal everything right now. Day 3 is going to be about soft self-care and all of your beliefs, false beliefs, useful beliefs about self-care, and why it's necessary, and why it can be really soft and nurturing, nourishing, and not hard, not something that you feel like you're doing a task, but something that really energizes and nourishes you. Again, there's a lot more to it, a lot more layers to this, like your self-regulation, nervous system-led presence, all of it we're going to talk about on day 3. Day 4 is called Softly Spoken. And we are speaking life over yourself and others. And we are taking a very queenly attitude towards the way you use your words, the way you voice your desires. And this is where we're going to go deep into accountability and responsibility as well, self-holding, all of these queenly know-how tools that are absolutely must if you want to create a life of just all of the beauty, the sumptuousness, the softened sweetness, and the feminine success in any of the areas that you want to create success in. So if you want to create the space for your dream life to emerge and for you to recalibrate, to actually have the scaffolding and the support for the life that you dream of, the relationship or the work situation, whatever it is, to actually happen and to manifest. You're going to love day 4. Day 5, we are going to talk about style, but not just your, clothing. So it's called Styled into Softness. And I love that. And it has a lot to do with how you carry yourself, how you move, what kind of a life you are dressing for, and all of the psychological reasons why we get to pay attention to how we are actually styling ourselves and adorning ourselves. And that is affecting you on a subconscious level. So there's a lot of juicy things that we get to talk about. And some of the unhelpful archetypes that I've noticed in my journey, that I've sort of leaned into, that have kept me stuck, and how to, liberate yourself into your authentic feminine expression, right? Also about, are you allowing yourself to be seen and to be noticed? Are you playing small, right? So if you want to step into your full potential and create the softest summer yet, I am inviting you to join me over on Patreon. So again, you're going to get the workbook. You're going to get 5 brand new audio lessons on each day. And you're also going to get the soft and sumptuous activation, which is sort of like meditation, visualization, me guiding you into practicing this bodily state of being soft and sumptuous and feeling more pleasure in your life in every area, and sort of teaching your body and your mind, your nervous system, your brain, how to hold and receive more pleasure, right? So this is going to be over on my Patreon from the 15th, why can't I say that? 15th to the 19th of May. So I encourage you to join my Patreon right now, because you get access to everything that's already there. And you can listen to these audio lessons and everything that's there whenever you want, at your leisure, and even afterwards. So you will have access to all of these materials at all times whilst you are there, and it's only €5 per month. So check the Patreon link in the show notes, in the description below. This challenge really is for my ladies who are craving and yearning that experiential feeling of softness, that state of being that is just allowing all these blessings to flow without us unconsciously blocking them, without us unconsciously making life harder than it has to be, and seeing all of the internal blocks that we've created so that we can step into our fullest potential, that God-given potential that you have as a feminine being, as a womanly woman who loves being a woman. I know that you're going to love it. I truly do. We're going to have the best time, and you're going to have access to me via messages over on Patreon. So if you have any questions, anything you want to communicate with me, that's where I'll be hanging out and being there with you, going through this with you, and creating the best foundation for the softest summer that we can experience. So if you love this podcast, if this sounds like something you're going to enjoy, if you've ever identified yourself as a perfectionist or a recovering perfectionist, someone who has struggled with that piece of softening and experiencing more pleasure, and also receiving, creating success in a more pleasurable way, then this is for you. It's definitely for me. So you best believe it's good, because I'm also creating it for myself. Right. So you know what to do. Join right now. And if you're listening to this later, after the 15th or 19th of May 2023, don't worry, you can still join and get access to all of it, because it's still there. Everything's still there. You just have to scroll through my posts or go through my keywords, where I've sort of categorized all of the episodes and meditations and stuff that I've created over on there. So go ahead and jump into the rabbit hole of vibrant flow goodness. Also, if you haven't yet joined my email list and gotten access to my full-length audio activations, the Morning Juice and Sensual Surrender, and the Perfume of My Life workbook, go ahead and check the first link in the description below and get access to those immediately when you join my email list. They are so juicy. They're going to help you a lot, and I know that you're going to love them. And if you love them and you already have them, you're going to love this Softness Reset even more. So I'll see you over on Patreon and in my next episode. Stay in the vibrant flow.
I won't sit right on every inch of my perfect skin. Now I'm all about that, don't you sweetness.